Hello and welcome back once again to Jacob's Toys 5-minute figure reviews. Please do like, share, subscribe, all of those things. All support is very much appreciated. In this video we're taking a look at the Retro Spider-Man Wave 2, specifically the Ben Reilly Spider-Man costume. Now this one looks absolutely awesome and it is a real update from the previous version, so let's open him up and have a look. So straight out of the box, what do we get? Obviously we get the figure, we also get two of the wall crawling hands, all painted up to match the costume. We also get two of the closed fist hands as well, again painted up to match the costume, and that's about it. And we also get the web swinging hands as well that come on the figure in the box. But that's all that we get, but we don't need anything more. I mean, an alternate head or an unmasked head would be quite cool, but I'm certainly not complaining because this is a definite upgrade from the previous figure that we had. Now let me just pop these hands off. Now do be careful because obviously he's got his cuffs here and you don't want to lose them when you're removing the hands. I'm just going to put the wall crawling hands on because they're probably my ones of choice. You can see here the little web shooters. I'll just pop that back on and put in his open hand or his wall crawling hand. These are definitely my favourite hands. I just think there's a lot more that you can do with them, a lot more expressions, and obviously you can make them crawl up walls, etc. But yeah, so obviously he's got all of the same articulation as the symbiote and the classic suit because they're all on the same mould. Now the thing I will point out is, I've said this in previous videos, is these are not pinless, and in this particular figure, because of the red and blue, the peg really stands out on the legs and the arms, but it's not enough to really hugely complain about. It's just a slight little gripe. Overall, this costume looks awesome on this mould, and I'm really pleased that they use this mould to give us an updated version. Now, as I said, we have had previous versions in the past, and I will grab those in a minute. For those of you that are not familiar, this obviously is Ben Reilly, the clone of Peter Parker, and this is his Spider-Man outfit. So what I'm going to say, go read the Clone Saga. It's an awesome run of comic books. So the previous version is this one, and it looks really dated next to it. Now this was one of my favourite Spider-Man Marvel Legend figures in my collection, and I've got most of them, I must say. But this was one of my favourites just because obviously being Ben Reilly's Spider-Man costume is just a cool one to have, and one I remember from when I was younger. And as I said, go read the Clone Saga because it's an awesome run of comic books. But you can really see that now that we've got this new one, the older one definitely looks outdated. I do prefer the eyes on the older one, like the bigger eyes, but the colouring on the new one is much better. So let's focus a little bit more on him. As I said, it's the same mould as the symbiote and the classic, so I'm just going to grab a couple of those so you can see them in comparison. There's the symbiote from this wave as well, and here is the classic one from wave 1. Now this classic version has become quite sought after and the aftermarket price has definitely gone up. So if you do see one, grab one, but don't pay through the nose because I'm sure they're going to re-release him one way or another. But the Spider-Man costume definitely looks better on this buck, on this particular mould. It's got a lot more posability, there's a lot more articulation, and you can get him into some really cool poses. I really like this trio. I really like the fact that we've got Ben Reilly Spider-Man, we've got the symbiote Spider-Man, and we've got the classic Spider-Man all now on this mould. Now there was one thing that the original version did come with, and that was this. It was the alternate hands and mask to make Spider-Carnage. Now it's a real shame that they didn't add those in to this retro one because it would have been a nice touch. Now as you can see here, the blues are very different. And yes, I've got two versions of the older one because I wanted both Spider-Carnage and Ben Reilly Spider-Man. But the blues are different. So will the hands and mask work on this retro body? Yes, they will, but they will look slightly different. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take them off and bring those in, and we will just do a quick head swap and hand swap. But just up close you can see that the blues are very different. So they will stand out a little bit, but I think I've got a workaround for that, so I'll get to that in a second. The hands pop out quite easy and obviously pop in quite easy because it's like a universal kind of peg hole on the hands. I'll take the head off as well. Now the one thing I will say about the head is that the peg hole is a little bit bigger than the peg, so he does spin. So you can get him into a nice pose, but it doesn't actually look that bad. It actually works quite well. Now in regards to the head, there's very little blue on the head, so there's not a huge amount that stands out. Oh, totally not got my balance right there. Let's just get him balanced properly. But you can see the head stays on, so at least that was an intentional test. What I would do though is that you've got these hands from Carnage, and I think if I'm going to display him as Spider-Man Carnage or Spider-Carnage, I'm going to use the Carnage hands just because they're all one red and they don't look as obvious. Now obviously it's not completely comic book accurate, but I think it looks a little bit better than having kind of a mix match blue into the hands. So yeah, if you want a Spider-Carnage and you've got these parts, then yeah, you can do it. You can have him. But overall, this is a really stellar figure. Definitely pick one up, because I have a feeling that once it's gone, it's going to become very sought after, just like the others. So that's it. Thanks very much for watching. If you're enjoying the 5-minute figure reviews, please do like, share, subscribe, and all of those things. And that's about my time up. So I'll catch you next time.